Namaste. Hello, and welcome to my home or your home or wherever you are doing your yoga class today. Today's yoga session will focus a little bit on our hips, a little bit through the spine, a little bit in that upper back between the shoulders, that place where a lot of us seem to hold our stress and are working from home days of hunching over those computers. This will be a gentle, general yoga for one class. Should be accessible for anyone. Please use your discretion with propping modifications. I will give you lots of options to make the class suitable for you. Feel free to use any or all of them. Some things to have handy nearby would be a strap, a belt, a scarf, something that you can use to hold onto between the hands, reach it good around your foot, other sorts of things like that. Another thing would be a block. Yoga blocks are great. Books work. Anything that is flat, and you might cut maybe a couple different things for heights of a shorter height, middle height, or even a taller height. And we'll give you options using blocks, books, whatnot as we go through some of the poses. To start with today, we're going to start seated in a simple cross-leg pose. Just crisscrossing your ankles however's comfortable. If your knees start lifting up, feel free to use those blocks, those supports, blankets even work there underneath the legs, or even sitting up onto it, especially if your hips are a little bit more tight. And then stacking those vertebrae right up the back. We're going to draw our shoulders all the way up by your ears. And release the shoulders, blades down the back. Relaxing the hands, palms facing down for a little grounding as we close our eyes. Gently starting to tune out the busyness and the chaos of our day. Releasing from our tasks and our to-do lists and just giving ourselves a few moments to be at peace on our mat. Gently bringing your focus to your breath. Just first noticing how you're breathing. Noticing where you naturally feel the breath. Maybe you feel a warming and cooling on your nostrils. Maybe you feel the movement of the chest and the abdomen. Perhaps you think to yourself, inhale, exhale. Any other thoughts, any mantras that would keep that focus to the breath. Just noticing that natural pace, that natural movement. Whatever it is that draws your attention to your breath, allow it to just be that. And all bringing one hand to our low belly, one hand to over the heart center. We can bring a deeper focus to the breath, feeling the movement of the chest and the abdomen on the palms of the hands. As we inhale, breathing in, expanding the lungs, the abdomen, using that full thoracic, that full breathing capacity our body has. And then as we exhale, we feel both the chest and the belly drawing back in towards the spine as they condense back down, releasing all that air out from the lungs. Taking a few breaths here, just following the pace of your breath, keeping that full focus on the breath, on the sensations that you feel of the chest and the abdomen rising and falling. Noticing The more you breathe, focusing on the breath, the less you can think about other things. The brain just simply doesn't allow us to multitask and think of many other things while we're focusing on our breath, which is a great calming technique. I encourage you to use it at any point during your day, beyond just our practice. We'll take one more breath together, inhaling, rising and expanding of that whole chest and capacity. And then exhaling, expanding and releasing everything back down. Bringing our hands right into an Anjali Mudra. Those are our prayer hands right at that heart center. We're going to do some sun breath. Still working with the pace of your own breath. Inhaling the arms right up through the center line of the body. Exhale the arms out and around. Just moving with the pace of your breath. You can follow and watch as I move at this pace, but it would be better for you to move right with your own breath. Inhale brings arms up, and the exhale brings them around. One more full breath. That's an inhale, arms coming up overhead. Then exhale, bringing the arms out and around. And then we're going to bring the hands back to the heart center before we switch directions. This time we inhale the arms out and around. The exhale draws the hands down to the heart center. One more full breath at your own pace, starting with the next inhale, bringing the arms up together. Exhaling, bringing the hands down to the heart center. This time we'll release our hands to either side of us. If you are sitting up on your block, you might want to remove it out from underneath you to feel a little more comfortable. We're going to do some side stretching here. Left hand is down on the mat, walking it out. Reaching that right arm up, right alongside the ear, and stopping when you start to feel that stretch down the side of the body. It might be just little ways you might be able to get a nice deep bend. Either way, you want to keep that chest nice and open. The stretch should be right down the side of the torso. And pressing down with the left hand, we'll teeter-totter over towards the right side. Walking that right hand out, sliding it out on your mat, keeping that chest nice and open. Finding your edge, that's the point where you start to feel the stretch down the side of the body. Again, keeping that chest nice and open. These side stretches, you can keep your gaze straight ahead of you. You can bring it down to the hand beneath you or up to your upper arm, whichever place is most comfortable. We'll do one more time to each side, teeter-tottering over to the left side one more time. Left hand is down on the mat, right arm is reaching up alongside that ear, getting the stretch down through our torso. Releasing from this side, going back to the right side. One final time, walking the right hand out, reaching up and over with the left arm. And then coming right back up to center, releasing that left hand down. We can inhale, bring both arms up overhead. And as we exhale, we're going to twist to the left. Bring your right hand down to the left knee, the left hand down to the floor behind us, gazing gently over that left shoulder. That twist is through the core here. Our hands are just down on the floor and on our knee to support us. We're not using them to leverage into the twist even more. As we inhale, we're going to release back to center, bringing the arms back up overhead. Taking an exhale here. We're going to inhale again, lifting right up through our heart center, and this time in the exhale, twisting towards the right side. That right hand comes down to the mat or to the floor behind us. That left hand finds the right knee. Again, just a gentle twist through the torso, gazing over that right shoulder. One more inhale here as we exhale, releasing back to center. Releasing those arms back down to either side of us. We're going to take the right hand up, right around, middle finger finds middle of the left here. Closing our eyes and relaxing that right shoulder down, away from our ear. We're going to relax the right ear down towards the shoulder without bringing the shoulder up to meet it. Gently getting that stretch down the opposite side of the neck. Inhaling head and neck back in line with the spine. We'll release the right hand down and do the same stretch on the left side. Left arm comes up and around. Middle finger finds middle of the right ear. Just relaxing that shoulder down away from the ear. Closing our eyes and then drawing that left ear down towards the shoulder, making sure the shoulder isn't rising up to meet the ear. The goal is just a gentle little stretch along the right side of our neck. Inhaling our head and neck back in line with the spine, we're going to release that left hand back down. This is the point where we want to grab our strap, our scarf, whatever we're using that is strap-like. We're going to take it and you can wrap it several times around the hands. You can just grab and hold the hands onto either side of it. The goal is to have the strap or whatever you're using that strap-like about shoulder width apart. I'm going to bring it right up to shoulder height to start doing a few shoulder opening things here. Taking an inhale, we'll bring the strap right up overhead. That first exhale relaxes those shoulders down away from the ears. Taking another inhale here, and then we exhale, draw that strap down behind the head, right behind the neck, making sure the head and neck stay in line. Hinging those shoulder blades together as we pull on the strap. It's a nice opening through those shoulders, the upper back, a little bit through the chest. From here, we can inhale, bringing the strap right up overhead. Exhaling, returning it down to shoulder height. We'll do that all one more time. Adjusting your hands on the strap if you need to. We'll inhale the strap up overhead. First exhale relaxes the shoulders down away from the ears. Another inhale here. And then exhaling that strap down behind the head, behind the neck, making sure to keep the head and neck in line, adjusting it around your hair if that gets in the way. Again, that opening is through the shoulders, the upper back, a little bit in the neck and the chest. Inhaling the strap back up. Exhaling, releasing it down. We'll release it out from the strap. Taking one of our legs, we're going to extend it out. I'm going to start with my right leg. You're welcome to do either side. We'll do both sides. Straightening that leg right out to the side. Our opposite leg, our left leg comes right, sole of foot comes right in towards the thigh. This way, we're going to take our chest center line and line it right up with that right leg. Bringing both hands to either side. We're going to go into our head to knee pose. One modification is just taking and walking the hands out. Leading with that heart center, keeping the spine nice and long, and stopping whenever you reach your edge. You can, if you like, and you have your strap hand, use that around the arch of the foot, still lifting and leading through that heart center and getting that lift and that tug out the back of the leg. If you have the capability to reach both hands and grab the arch of the foot, you are welcome to do that as well. Using and finding whichever variation feels comfortable for you. Getting that stretch all the way up the back of the leg and through the back of our body. Walking the hands back in, releasing from the strap, releasing the foot as we come to sit up nice and tall again. We're going to take the extended leg, the right leg, and come into baby cradle. Holding the foot and the knee, you can just rock the leg a little side to side. If you want to bring it a little deeper, and you can tuck the foot right up into the crook of the arm and rock it. This starts to get some opening into our hip, releases some of those muscles that start to get tight. We will do more than this for the stretching in a few moments. Just warming it up. Once you've rocked several times and feel comfortable, we'll set that right leg down. It can now become the front leg in our crisscross if it wasn't already. From here, bringing the hands right to the mat in front of us, lifting through our heart center. And we're going to walk the hands forward, stopping when you reach your edge. It might be with the arms extended. Maybe you're able to lower down onto forearms, or you might even be able to fold all the way flat into the seated forward fold. Adjusting and moving how's comfortable, breathing into the stretch in the back of the body, into those hips. One more full breath here. Inhale and an exhale. So we take our next inhale, rising back up, walking the hands back in. Bringing those hands right behind us on our mat, keeping the bottom right nice and flat on the mat. Hands pressing down into the mat, lifting through the heart center, getting the opposite bend through our spine. Releasing back down. Taking the other side, that other leg, extending it right out, getting ready to do that head to knee pose again. The right sole of the foot comes in towards the thighs. We extend the left leg out. Again, we're going to lift through the heart center as we go into this pose. You can use your strap, your scarf around the foot, holding onto the hands, leading and reaching forward. You can reach both hands to the arch of the foot or bringing both hands up either side of the foot. Still starting with that lift through the heart center and walking forward. Finding that edge, finding that stretch wherever it's comfortable along the back of your leg. Releasing from the strap, releasing from the foot, beginning to walk the hands back up, all those variations. Once we come back upright, we're going to take that left leg coming into our baby cradle or modification. It can be hand and foot again, or you can tuck the leg and rock it. Gently getting that stretch into the left hip. After rocking several times, we'll release that foot down in front. Now we've got our left leg in front, still in our simple cross leg pose, however your cross legs are comfortable. Hands coming to the floor in front of us again. We're lifting through the heart center first, keeping the spine nice and long, walking the hands out. Lowering to whatever level is comfortable for you as you breathe into the back of the body. You may notice as we fold forward into our seated forward fold again that the stretch feels different. You might feel it more in a hip than in the back and up the spine. Just acknowledging where you feel the stretch, sending your breath to that area if it's extra tight. Allowing it to release and relax. Doing both sides, both legs in front will help to balance out our bodies. Taking one more full breath here. An inhale and an exhale. As we take our next inhale, rising back up slowly, extending the arms, head and neck in line with the spine. Walking the hands back in first, then bringing them behind us. Inhaling and lifting through the heart center, getting the arch to the spine. Exhaling, releasing the spine back to neutral. From here, we're going to shift and adjust into our tabletop pose. I want to make sure those wrists come right underneath our shoulders. Our knees are right underneath our hips. You're welcome to use an extra blanket, a knee pad right underneath your knees, helping them to get a little more cushion underneath. We're going to start with some table rotations, some table rounds, pressing our sit bones, our bottom right back down towards the heels. We're going to roll up through both shoulders. This gets a little more opening in our joints, the wrists, the shoulders, the hips, the knees. You may notice some snapping, crackling, and popping in your body in those joints. It's okay, it's a good thing. It releases fixations. That bone-on-bone connection and allows more of the synovial fluid, the lubricating fluid within the joint, to move through there. It should feel pretty good after you hear puffs. Do one more rotation around in this direction. As you come back up to center, switching directions, rotating around the other way. Still pressing all the way down in towards those sit bones and rolling up through both shoulders. There may be different things that snap, crackle, and pop as you switch. It's okay. One more rotation all the way around. As we come back to center, returning onto hands and knees nice and square, and we'll begin to move through our cat and our cow. Inhale, looking up for cow belly, drawing down. Exhaling and rounding for cat, looking back between those legs. Moving at a pace that's comfortable for you. I want you to move through these with your breath. Always looking up on the inhale with the belly drawing down. Rounding, looking back between the legs on the exhale. Do one more full breath at your own pace. Starting with the next inhale and looking up. Ending with the exhale that follows and rounding. Returning back to our tabletop with our nice flat spine. From here, we're going to walk our hands forward. We're coming into our extended pike. There is the option to take a block and place it down in front of the face first if you like to use that to lower the head down onto. Arms come reaching out towards the outer edge of the mat. Hips stay right over the knee. And then lowering the forehead down onto your block, onto your support, or all the way down onto your mat. Once that forehead makes contact with whichever surface it needs to, you're going to continue to allow that chest to open down towards the mat, getting that deeper opening in the upper shoulders, the back. One more full breath here. An inhale and an exhale. As we take the next inhale, bring the head and neck back in line with the spine. Walking those hands back underneath our shoulders. Feeling that opening in our chest and our upper back. We're going to take our right toes, pressing them into the mat, extending that right leg all the way out behind us. Starting to feel that stretch of the back of the leg. Keeping the spine, the bottom in line with the spine here, and starting to tuck that belly button up in towards the spine, getting a little more stretch, a little more activation of our core muscles here. Releasing the right knee to the mat. We'll do the same on the left side. Toes into the mat, pressing the weight into the heel. Starting to feel that stretch up the back of the leg, beginning to engage our core muscles as well by tucking that belly button right up towards the spine. Releasing that left knee to the mat. From here, we're going to go into our plank. You can curl your toes under, lifting the bottom in line with the spine. Run our toes, the weight is back in the heels. If being in a high plank is not comfortable for you, that bottom starts to rise up in the air. You want to take and lower those knees down and curl the toes, keeping that belly button tucked in towards the spine and the bottom down. Either way, a high plank or a low plank, our gaze is straight ahead of us, about 45 degrees out in front of us towards the front edge of our mat. From our plank, whether it's a high plank or a low plank, we're all going to do Ashtanga-asana. That's the knees, chest straight. Lowering our knees to the mat first, keeping our elbows tucked in nice and close, slowly lowering the chest to the mat. When the chin hits towards the mat, we're going to scooch forward a little and then lift our chest right up towards the ceiling, gazing up at the ceiling for upward facing dog. Thighs can remain on the mat for up dog, or you can press the tops of the feet down into the mat, lifting the thighs up off the mat. Whichever variation is comfortable for you. From our upward facing dog, we're going to curl our toes under, pressing ourselves all the way up and back into a downward facing dog, finding that upside down V shape in our body. You can use any modifications, any variations to your down dog that feel comfortable. And always starting and walking your dog, pedaling the feet, getting that nice stretch all along the muscles and the tendons and ligaments up the back of the body. After you've walked your dog, settling into our down dog, we'll take an inhale together, rising up onto our toes. Exhaling, lowering both heels down, settling into the full down dog position. Taking that right foot here, bringing it all the way up between the hands, giving it a boost if it doesn't make it. We're going to lower that back knee down and uncurl the toes. I'm going to come up into a low lunge. If hands down on the mat or on blocks is as far as you're comfortable, you're welcome to stay here, working into the lunge. You can walk the hands up to the hips, making sure front knee and ankles stay in line with each other. As you walk your hands up, the hands can just stay here resting on this front thigh. As you settle deeper into that opposite hip, that left hip here. Or when you settle in, if you're still comfortable and you've got your balance, you want to go all the way into that the low lunge Anjaneyasana. You can swing those hands forward, lifting right up through the heart center, tucking that low belly right in towards the spine to protect the low back. Coming into the full low lunge posture. Again, listening to your body, finding which variation works for you. One more inhale here in our lunge. As we exhale, no matter where you are, you're going to bring the hands all the way back down, framing the foot. Left hand's going to stay on the mat or on a support on the inside of the right foot. And lift our right arm up into the air, twisting right towards our bent knee. Try to keep that knee right over the ankle. And then releasing the right hand back to the mat. From here, we're going to come into our Ardha Hanumanasana, our half split pose. Taking and using a block or support behind the leg. We're going to straighten the front leg first, hinging right from the hips, folding over the leg, getting the stretch all the way up the back of that front leg. That block helps to bring the floor up to meet us. If our hamstrings, the backs of our thighs are quite tight, we might need that assist. If your hands are on the mat and you're folded right forward and you still want a little more stretch, you draw those toes right up towards the ceiling, flexing that foot. It will deepen the stretch up the back of the leg. And then we're going to release from the side, bending that knee back forward, walking the hands back forward, framing that foot. Taking and sliding that right foot back to meet the left. We come back to our tabletop pose, curling our toes under, pressing ourselves all the way up and back into downward facing dog. Finding that upside down V shape. Settling the feet, noticing the imbalance in those hips. And then taking and bringing that left foot all the way up between the hands, giving it a boost if it doesn't make it. Settling the back knee down and uncurling the toes. Again, you're welcome to stay here with the hands down on the mat, on top of the blocks right here, just working into that right hip flexor, working on that stretch. Or if you'd like, front knee and ankle should be in line, protecting this front knee. Walking the hands right up to the front knee. At this point, you are welcome to settle deeper into the right hip if it's comfortable for you. Hands can remain right here on the leg, working on your balance here, working on the stretch. Just enjoying that low lunge. Or you can follow me into the full low lunge, swinging the arms forward, lifting right up through that heart center, making sure those shoulder blades stay down away from the ears. We don't want them lifting up really high while we're here. One more inhale here. As we exhale, we're all going to bring the hands down, framing the foot. Again, right hand can stay right on the mat or on our support right on the inside of that foot. We're going to lift the left arm up into the air. We're twisting towards that bent knee again, getting the twist through the spine. Exhaling, releasing the left hand back to the mat. From here, using the support behind the leg if you need, or just walking the hands backward. We're coming back into that half lunge. Keep on straightening the front leg first, then hinging over it. The hands are on the mat or on the support behind the leg. We are flexing the foot if we want a deeper stretch. Just keeping it relaxed, pointed away from us if we want a gentler stretch. The stretch should be felt in the back of that upper thigh. Bending the left knee back over the ankles. Walking the hands back forward. We're going to transition from here right into a pyramid pose, taking and curling our back toes under, lifting the back knee up. We're going to come up first into a high lunge, and then hopping the back foot forward a little bit, setting that back heel down. We're going to start straightening the front leg, using our blocker support behind the leg if we need to reach to put our hands down onto it. We want both of our legs to be totally straight. Our hips are pointed forward at the short side of the mat. We are getting the stretch all the way down the back of both of our legs. If you don't have a blocker support in your hands, don't reach the mat completely, keeping both legs straight. You can just use your body as a support, walking the hands up the leg. Any height will work. You still get that stretch down the back of both legs. Leading with our right hand, we're going to windmill ourselves all the way up, opening up our hips. We're going to open our hips up towards the wide side of our mat. Keeping those left toes pointed out, we're going to come right into our warrior two. Bending that left knee over the ankle. Inhaling our arms right up to shoulder height, making sure we pull those shoulder blades down the back, relaxing those shoulders down away from our ears. And then we can gaze out past our left hand, coming right into the full warrior two pose. Coming into our exalted warrior, we're going to bring that left hand up towards the ceiling and the right hand down along the leg. You can come and stop just at this middle point if this is as far as you want to go. Everything belly button down stays exactly the same. Or if you'd like to go even further in the pose, you can reach up and over with that left hand, getting a little bit more stretch through the spine. From here, coming back to our warrior two. And we'll come into a variation of our extended side angle, taking that left forearm right down to that left thigh. Reaching right up alongside the ear with the right hip, keeping that chest and the hip nice and open here. Modification, if this is good and you're easy here, plenty of stretch, you are welcome to take and use your support. Put your hand down on it as you reach up and over. Just giving some more options and more variations for you to try. Listening to your body. And we'll swing our arms all the way back up, straightening that left leg. Both legs nice and straight. We're going to go into our triangle pose. Triangle pose keeps both legs straight. We make some triangles with our body. We'll start by inhaling our arms right up at shoulder height. Reaching out, hinging over that left leg first. Left hand comes down anywhere along the leg. Right arm reaches up toward the ceiling. Feeling as though you're extending the arms in both directions will help keep them nice and straight and in line. Triangle pose, we want to have the chest nice and open, the hip nice and open. You don't want to fall into the pose like pyramid. We're open as though if we were doing it against a wall. Our heels, our bottom, and our between our shoulder blades would all touch the wall at the same time here. We're going to rise back up. We can bring our hands to our hips so we can shift and adjust to the other side. Moving your supports if you do have them and need them or want them available. Turning those right toes out. We're going to keep the hips nice and wide towards the long side of our mat. Bending the right knee over the ankle. We're setting up to do our warrior two. Inhaling those arms right up to shoulder height, making sure we keep those shoulder blades down away from our ears. Gazing right out past our right hand. Settling into our warrior two posture. Coming into our exalted warrior. That right hand comes up towards the ceiling, left hand down along the leg. Again, stopping at any point that's comfortable, or getting all the way to the point where you reach up and over with that right hand. Everything from the belly button down stays exactly the same. Then we'll rise back up to our warrior two. Coming into our extended side angle, that right forearm comes down to the thigh, reaching up alongside the ear with the left. And again, if this is good, but you'd like to go deeper, you can bring that hand down to the block, keeping the chest nice and open here as you do. Either variation, either option is welcome and open for you. Rising back up, straightening that right leg, checking in, our hips are still pointed towards the wide side of the mat. We're going to inhale the arms up at shoulder height. Reaching out over the right leg with the right arm, hinging from the hips as we reach down. Right hand comes down along the leg, or using our support on the inside or the outside of the leg if we'd like. The left hand extends right up towards the ceiling. We're coming into that triangle pose again, making the triangles in our body, keeping the chest and the hips nice and open. Remembering if we were doing it right against the wall, our shoulder blades, our arms, our heels would all touch the wall, and the hips, bottom. From our triangle, we are going to transition right back into our pyramid. If you use the block behind the leg, taking and adjusting it where you used it. Otherwise, that left hand, the hand up in the air, is going to come down to the leg. We're going to adjust the back foot to adjust the hips forward towards the short side of the mat. Using the hands on the support behind the leg, or just bringing both hands right down to the leg, whichever you like, whichever you use. Making sure pyramid, both legs are nice and straight. We're getting the length down both our legs. And if you needed to, you're welcome to walk the hands up that leg using whatever height you need. From here, bending that front knee over the ankles, we come up onto those back toes, coming into our runner's lunge. And then we're going to hop the back foot forward, coming into our forward fold. The first one of the night, standing up. If your hands don't reach the mat, you are welcome to use your block at any of the heights or your book or whatever it is. Our gaze should be back behind us between the legs. If you want to, for this first forward fold, reach and grab opposite forearms, coming into a ragdoll posture. You are welcome to do so. Returning back to center, releasing the hands back to the mat or back to our block. We're going to inhale up to a half forward fold. Nice flat spine, gazing about 45 degrees in front of us. Just a gentle tug in the backs of those thighs, those hamstrings here. From our half forward fold, we're going to swing our arms right forward, sitting into an imaginary chair as we come into Utkatasana, awkward pose. Looking as though we're sitting into a chair, our weight is back into our heels. We'll inhale from here, rising up. Hands coming together overhead with a gentle little back bend only if it's comfortable. So bring your hands together down through the heart center. You are welcome to do your balance pose facing this direction if it works for you. You can turn and adjust any direction that works. Finding a good focal point, a good drishti in your space. Something you can look at that isn't moving. Moving things are hard to balance with. As they move, we want to move. We're going to do tree today. A gentle, simple balance pose, but still works a lot of muscles. Hands right in the Anjali Mudra, the prayer hands at the heart center. Starting in our mountain base, our weight is balanced on both our feet. We can gently shift the weight onto the left leg. So we bring that right heel into a kickstand. Staying here, working on your balance in your kickstand. Or you can bring the foot up to your level, bringing it up to the calf. We're assisting it up to the thigh. Either way, we're avoiding our knees bend forwards and backwards. Doing our best to keep that right knee out towards the side. We don't want it forward. That's not what the tree quite should feel like or look like. Staying at whatever point you have your balance. Pressing the hands together does help with your balance here. Or you can grow your branches up. Extending those arms right up overhead, opening them up, spreading those fingers nice and wide. And releasing the leg out to the side. We're going to just fold forward into the gentle wide leg forward fold, not the legs so totally far apart. As we bring the hands down towards the mat, wiggling the legs a little side to side, bending one knee then the other. Just getting some opening into those hips. And then slowly walking the hands up the legs, returning back upright. Stepping those feet back together, coming back into our mountain variation first. Bringing the hands right in the Anjali Mudra. And then from here, once you have your balance, you feel it between both legs. Shifting it onto the right leg, coming into your kickstand first. And then bringing it up to your level again. Foot at the calf, or assisting it up to the thigh. Your balance can change day to day, just honoring it where it is today. And again, you're welcome to stay here, pressing hands together to work on balance. Growing your branches, bringing the arms up overhead, extending the arms in either direction, flexing those fingers. From our tree, stepping that foot just into a gentle wide leg stance and then folding right forward again. We'll bend the knees this time, bending them a little deeper side to side, getting that stretch, that opening into those hips. Working some of those muscles in the groin area. And then settling back into that, right? The gentle wide leg forward fold. Walking the hands back up the hips again, up to the hips, stepping that left foot together. At this point, if you are facing at the short side of your mat, you're just going to stay right there. If you're not, you're going to take a stroll up to the top of the mat, making sure you've got plenty of room behind you. We will bring ourselves down onto the mat here at home. From here, coming right back into our mountain pose, feeling all that strength and stability of our mountain. Inhaling, arms up overhead, gentle little back bend. Exhaling, hinging from the hips, folding all the way forward, all the way down into that standing forward bend again, using your block if you need to. Bending our knees as much as we need so our hands can come flat to the mat. We're going to roll up onto our toes here and then bring that bottom right down onto the mat. As we do, we're going to get ready to do a seated balance pose, making sure you remove any obstacles from your mat that might be in the way. Hands coming to the front sides of the knees or the undersides. We're going to walk those up onto those toes, coming to balance right on our bottom. Staying here with the legs down low, or bringing them up to any height that is comfortable. Anywhere between there and halfway, or halfway and all the way straight. Any leg height that's comfortable for you, where you can hold your balance, keeping that spine nice and tall. Hands can continue holding onto the backs of the legs, or extending the arms out right parallel with the floor. It helps to work more of those core muscles, all those muscles right around our abdominal region that support our spine, help us to feel nice and strong as we sit and stand and move around all the day. If you extended your legs all the way up, you're going to bring them down about halfway as everybody returns the hands back to the underside of the knee. Inhaling, lifting up through the heart center. We'll exhale, tucking the chin in towards the chest, rolling all the way down onto the mat. Bringing the knees in towards our chest, we're going to give them a little squeeze. It releases out that low back. Crossing the ankles, hands can stay on the knees or down alongside us as we do a few gentle knee circles. Just releasing out that low back a little bit. We'll do one more rotation around in this direction. As we come back to center, switching across the ankles in the direction of knee circles. Rotating them around the other way. One more rotation all the way around. As the knees come back to center, we're going to give them a squeeze and release out that low back again. Keeping the knees right here over the chest, we're going to do our reclining twist. Releasing our arms out to either side of us. We're going to take an inhale. So we exhale, slowly lowering the knees down to the right side first, lowering them onto a block or support if we need. That left shoulder blade should stay nice and flat on the mat. If it doesn't, you want to use something to lift the floor up a little, bringing the knees up a little more. In our twist, our gaze is at the ceiling above us or out past our opposite hand. And if you want to bring it even deeper, that right hand can combine that left knee. Whichever variation of the twist feels comfortable. Releasing and bringing the knees back to center as we return to center. And then exhaling, lowering the knees over towards the left side. Again, adjusting however's comfortable. And the legs can be down on a support. This right shoulder blade should be nice and flat on the mat. Left hand can find the right knee. Your gaze can be at the ceiling above you or out past the opposite hand. Whichever feels best for you. Releasing from this side as we inhale the knees back to center. Reaching up around the legs, giving the knees a squeeze as we draw the forehead right up by the knees. And releasing back down. Taking and hopefully your block, your book, your support somewhere nearby. We're going to take it our flat side down and slide it underneath our sacrum or talon, giving us a little lift, a lift in our bottom, a little support of those hips. Arms come down, out, just a little ways away from our torso. Drawing the knees in towards the chest first, and then extending those legs up towards the ceiling. Flexing the feet and leaning them as though they're leaning gently against the magnetic wall. Legs of a wall is just a gentle inversion. Using the block under the bottom and not actually touching the legs to a wall is a modification of the pose, just because it's easier than getting our butt nice and close and putting the legs up on the wall. But as it's a modified inversion, it allows our blood flow to return to our core. Our heart doesn't work so hard to pump blood around. So thus it has some healing benefits. Just a little bit of an immune system boost. Taking them slowly, bending the knees back in towards the chest. Releasing the feet back down to the mat. We're lifting ourselves up off the block. As we release the tailbone back down to the mat, we're going to do a pelvic tilt away from us, feeling our low back arch, and then tilting it back in. We're going to bring those knees right back up in towards the chest, giving them a squeeze, bringing the forehead up to the knees one more time, then reaching through the legs, grabbing a hold of the feet on the outside and the inside in a toe lock, or you can grab the backs of the knees if you can't quite reach the feet. Coming into happy baby pose, drawing both knees in towards our armpits. Soles of the feet are right up towards the ceiling. And then rocking a little side to side if that's comfortable. From here, we'll bring our soles of our feet together, releasing them down to the floor, knees open to the side. We're going to do reclining goddess next. Once we settle in with our lower part of our body, we can take our hands to our thighs, pressing away. Feel our spine extend up along the mat. You have the option here to just rest the hands on the low belly, resting the hands down alongside the torso. Or you can do the full pose, bringing the arms up into cactus arms. You want to bend them at the elbows. The forearms come up alongside the head as the upper arms come right out, straight out from those shoulders. As we come into our reclining goddess, getting closer to preparing for our final relaxation, you can just gently close the eyes here, helping you to focus that breath as you send it right towards those hips and towards the shoulders. Taking an inhale here. As we exhale, we're going to release the arms down alongside the torso. Slowly reversing the legs, walking the feet just as neutral on our mat and our knees at neutral. Or if it's comfortable, you're welcome to walk the feet all the way to the outer edges and allow the knees into touch. Neutralizing our spine here. We're going to bring one hand right to our belly, returning back to that breath again. The other hand over the heart center. Closing the eyes if they're not already. And then focusing completely on the breath. Inhaling, feeling the belly and the chest rise up and expand. Exhaling, chest and belly, releasing back down, lowering back down towards the spine. This is our final pose before final relaxation. Now's the time that you can put something warm on if you'd like. I encourage you to find any pose you find comfortable. If this pose is comfortable, you can remain here, resting hands on the low belly, down alongside the torso. You can return to reclining goddess, or another option would be extending the legs, coming into full corpse pose. Legs extended down along the mat, arms down alongside the body, palms facing up. We'll begin our Shavasana, our final relaxation, with a cleansing breath together. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling, sighing out the mouth. Releasing any stale air, releasing any tension in the body. Allowing yourself to fully relax and be supported. Begin to bring your awareness back into your body, feeling the floor beneath you, supporting you. Starting with small movements in your hands and feet, as you gently allow that awareness to return. When you're ready, bring the right arm up alongside the head, rolling over onto the right side and simply pausing, allowing that awareness to gently return to the body. When you're ready, pressing yourself up, sit, taking your time as we return to a simple cross-leg variation. Taking a final breath together to close our practice, we'll bring the arms out to the side, inhaling, arms up, palms to touch. Exhaling, bringing the hands down through the heart center, closing the eyes, returning the focus inward. Taking a moment now to give yourself gratitude for taking the time to practice today. Wishing you health, life, love, and happiness. Namaste.